I'm Mary Lou de Leon Siantz, Dr. Mary Lou de Leon Siantz. I'm a professor at the University of California, Davis, and I'm also a fellow of the American Academy of Nursing. And I just wanted to go back and say what a wonderful springboard to my career the Minority Fellowship Program was, and continue, and helped me in so many ways throughout my career. I still remember vividly meeting the cohort that I was a part of, and for some fellows who think you can't be nimble and juggle, I was also very pregnant when I started the program with my first daughter. And to be around a group of fellow nurses we were all struggling very, very much, and really wanting so much to have the confidence which you all provided us over time. And what was really remarkable for me was that through that cohort and through the wonderful leadership that the program provided, I was able to navigate my PhD even I had 2 children during my doctorate program while I was there. So there is, you can juggle, you can balance. But in terms of the impact that program had for me, I had been the Migrant Head Start National Mental Health Coordinator, Master's Prepared at the time. And working through that program, I established the mental health plan for Migrant Head Start centers across the United States. I was working under Migrant Head Start at the time. What I discovered at that point in time, because I was also studying, that almost nothing was known about the impact of migration on children, and that the women and the men that were being studied, they were being studied as adult men, adult women, never as parents. So the fellowship provided me with the ability to able to conduct research in that field. And that is the field that I stayed with my entire career. I have focused on migrant, immigrant children across the United States. That, because of the doctoral program and because it was seated in the nation's capital, we were provided introductions from early on, we were provided introductions to many leaders in the capital, and were giving us beginning steps to leadership development in addition to what the program provided us through our academic preparation to learn how to do research. And not only learn how to do research, but learn how to advocate and making a difference for vulnerable population, giving back to our community early on. The mission that this program has had to develop the next generation of nurse scientists and nurse leaders and nurse advocates and nurse policymakers, I think what I have seen from the cohorts that I have observed, not only with mine, but going forward with the tremendous leaders that now exist as a result of this. This has been a very successful program, and I look forward to seeing its continuing impact to future generations, because it's impacted us and we've impacted growing generations, but it's going to continue growing and giving back and making changes, because I think ultimately in our own small ways that whatever we've been doing, we have been looking to how to promote health equity and to give back to our populations. I was newly out of my master's program. I was asked to be a consultant in Danville, Illinois. I will never forget this as long as I live. And I went with a director at that point that was the nurse consultant on the team. I walked into this hovel. A woman had just delivered a baby. The baby was clearly premature. The woman was on springs, not even a mattress. She was covered with newspapers. The baby was in a box drawer covered with newspapers. The afterbirth hadn't been cleaned yet. We're talking the United States of America. And that affected me. Well, every time I think of the picture, it brings tears to my eyes because of the impact that picture had. So shortly after that, I got asked to be the National Mental Health Coordinator of Migrant Head Start. And so as I was saying earlier, there was so little known about the impact of migration. And I had this picture of this baby in this box and this mother on children that I wanted to investigate how it did impact, what were the protective factors, what were the risk factors, what was the resilience. And so I started out my dissertation, because of you guys, my dissertation focused on the mothers, because mothers somehow were surviving the circumstances and being able to take care of their children. And then once I finished my dissertation, I started working with a migrant, the Texas Migrant Council was the one that helped me with this. But then I wanted to study the family. So then I expanded to the fathers, the children, and then there I go. So I've studied infants, preschoolers, children, and most currently now I'm studying adolescents and the impact on the migration has on them, the girls.